Hi, it's Jan Beta, and today I am going to take a look at a limited run special edition crystal case for the Amiga 500 and the Amiga 500 Plus. This is the Amiga 500 Ultra made by A1200net, who also made regular Amiga cases in all kinds of colors for the A500 and for the A1200. And this obviously is only a replacement case. The link to buy this actually is in the video description in case at some point you feel like pulling the trigger on this one. I'm pretty excited for this because I am kind of a fanboy of clear cases, as you probably know if you're following my channel. So far I have in my collection this clear Amiga 1200 case that is also manufactured by A1200net, and I made a video about that ages ago, kind of. And I also have this clear Commodore 64C, which I think is pretty beautiful. That's a Pixel Wizard made replacement case made from the original molds of the C64C. Of course, these cases have the same kind of texture that the non-transparent cases have, so they are a bit dull and not crystal clear as the one we are going to take a look at in a second. And full disclosure, the friendly people of A1200net actually sent me one of these Amiga 500 Ultra kits for free, but I also made it a condition that I can do a review that's unbiased. Well, it's kind of biased by the fact that they gave me this thing for free and I love transparent cases, so I'm probably going to like this if nothing goes horribly wrong, but we're going to see. So without further ado, let's open this up and take a look. Pretty difficult to film this, I hope you can see. The lab is not made for unboxing larger things like this. So, and there it is. Okay, I'm already kind of convinced. Yeah, so here it is. It comes with different kinds of covers for the ports, so you can have like HDMI output and things like that. Also comes with a crystal limited sticker, like a case badge that goes here. So this is actually an engraved label, which is super nice. Feels pretty good. We have another smaller box in here. And this just says tank on the side. So what is this? It's a transparent, crystal clear tank mouse enclosure. Wow. Okay, that's lovely. So let's get rid of the plastic bag. Wow. Okay, this is something else. Okay, so this is something. This is actually crystal clear. And that's quite the difference. That's super nice. Yeah. This looks really cool. Plastic feels very sturdy. I think generally the A1200net cases use a better or more modern plastic mix than the original Amiga cases used. Yeah, this looks very nice and I can't see any flaws. Of course we're going to put an Amiga 500 board and a keyboard in here later in the video. And this has manufactured by A1200net, engraved in the mold and in the case, obviously. And it also has some of the original Amiga design crew's signatures engraved in the case, which is a pretty nice touch. But wait, there's more! This box labeled Amiga Mouse Mat, which is actually, if you buy one of the crystal case kits, you get a code that allows you to order one of these. But they are even more limited, so they only provide these as long as stock lasts. This is an Amiga mouse mat. Wow, this is huge too. I think this is larger than my smallish workbench space here. So I actually had to take a step back to be able to show this. It's like a dark blue kind of thing, kind of textured, feeling pretty nice. I think it's a fake leather cotton lining on the back, I think. And it has Amiga engraved in one corner. There, it says Amiga in one corner, engraved. I love this. This is super nice. It's kind of a nice bonus, but we're going to be primarily concerned with the crystal clear case kit and the tank mouse. And the friendly people from A1200net that contacted me. Thank you, by the way, for giving me this opportunity. They provided me with quite a bit of B-roll from the actual manufacturing process. So I'm going to show some of that and talk a bit about how this thing actually came to life, which should be pretty interesting. Let me take a couple of seconds to thank the sponsor for this video, PCBWay, my favorite manufacturer of prototype circuit boards of all kinds. They offer excellent quality for very reasonable prices and their turnaround times are super quick. Delivery is quick too. So I highly recommend checking out their website if you want your own circuit boards manufactured. The link is in the video description. Back to the Amiga. Usually these A1200net projects, including the replacement cases and the Amiga keycaps, are starting out as Kickstarter campaigns, or some of them have secondary campaigns on Indiegogo, which is a crowdfunding platform as Kickstarter is, to see if there's some demand for the projects. And then usually they produce a bit more and sell them openly through some Amiga retailers and through their own website. This crystal case bundle is only going to be available from A1200net directly. The link is in the video description. As I said, it's a limited run. The reasons for this being a limited run I'm going to explain briefly later in the video. Let's talk about how this thing actually came about. And due to the fact that these are crowdfunded projects, at least in the beginning of the projects, the A1200net crowd has been in constant communication with the Amiga enthusiasts, or the end users, if you will. The whole idea came about because of the fact that the first injection tests on new molds are often done in clear plastic because it's just easier to spot little flaws and things like that. So engineers use the process of using clear plastic for the test molds. And you probably have seen some of the pictures of clear Apple Macintosh cases and things like that. Those were originally test molds for the manufacturing process to see mistakes in the molds better. And upon posting some of the pictures of injection mold tests with clear plastic, the A1200net people actually received quite a bit of feedback from the community, asking them to make crystal clear cases for the Amiga actually, which is a neat idea. And they tested this on the trapdoor molds. You can see the trapdoor here. They did first some test runs on seeing how that would work out with the trapdoor at first, because that's actually a smaller piece of plastic that's molded separately. The whole process involved extensive retooling and polishing of the original molds that have the texture, and it actually went to quite some revisions before they finished the project with the quality that was satisfactory, that we can see here. It is a super involved process to get a mold to this kind of polish, actually, as you can see in the background. The goal was actually to make a case that would be as good, if not better, as the Mac Effects clear case for the Macintosh SE and SE30. And those are vastly more expensive, actually. They are around $350 for one unit. And that's not including a mouse. So considering that this is relatively inexpensive, these bundles are a bit more expensive than the regular Amiga 500 replacement cases, obviously, because this took a lot more effort. And obviously, any scratches or blurs or smudges would be far more visible in a crystal clear case like this than in a textured case that's not clear. That's why the manufacturing process was a lot more difficult to achieve this super clear case in the end. Around 600 kilograms of resin have been wasted, so to say, on the manufacturing process before they reached this level of perfection. And they also scrapped around 300 cases that didn't pass quality control. So the ones that actually are going on sale are all flawless, basically. That was the goal. And it seems like my case is super flawless. I can't see any scratches or anything. Any scratches you are going to see are probably going to be caused by me when I try to put an Amiga in this. So how many of these did actually make it through the quality control process and are going on sale? There is no clear answer, unfortunately, in the material I got, but it's said to be a highly collectible product. And they are going to run out of stock pretty soon. So if you want one of these, now is probably the best time to click. There's not going to be another run because it's not possible to manufacture more crystal bundles ever again. The molds used for this are actually being treated chemically to get a texture that's similar to the original Amiga cases as we speak. So there's not going to be more of these unless somebody makes another clear mold and goes through all that effort. This is strictly limited. So the manufacturing process for these was quite meticulous, and I'm pretty happy that they went through all that because this just looks beautiful. I want to take this apart and take a brief look at the specialties of this case opposed to the original Amiga 500 cases. This is actually made from the ground up. I think it's very closely modeled after the original cases, but I can already see that this trapdoor has some cooling vents in there. And there are some screw positions where there are no screw posts in the original cases. So let's take a closer look at that. Obviously, I'm going to have to take this apart. This is screwed together, and all the screws have little brass inserts like on the A1200 case. I really like that because it's limiting the danger to actually destroy the screw posts. The original Amiga cases have like plastic screws. These are all threaded, properly threaded screws with threaded inserts, so you don't risk damaging the plastic. So the top casing is pretty much unchanged. We're going to put that aside for a second. It definitely feels heavier and thicker plastic than the original case. As you can see, there's some extra screw posts here. I think these are for mounting Raspberry Pis or the standalone Vampire, which is basically a super Amiga on a little circuit board. These are super small, and you have these mounting posts to easily mount these in here and have an emulated Amiga or kind of a super Amiga bordering on emulation, I think, in case of the Vampire. I don't have a Vampire. I don't have a Raspberry Pi that I could mount in here with some Amiga emulator installed, but you can do that and run the cables to the ports. There's adapter solutions for basically having a fully fledged Amiga with these modern boards, and you can use these easily in this case. The trapdoor cover has these cooling vents in there, which is a nice addition. Usually what goes in this place is a memory expansion in most cases for the Amiga 500. There's also all kinds of expansion cards that you can put in this spot in a regular Amiga 500, like PC cards and things like that exist for the trapdoor spot. And that's pretty nice to have these cooling vents to make them hopefully live a bit longer because they get better ventilation. So we have the regular side expansion slot here, which has a nice cover. Of course, also crystal clear. And that feels a lot more sturdy than the original design as well. So they probably added some weight to that. The whole thing feels heavier than a regular Amiga 500 case. So I think they put in some extra reinforcements in spots. A nice addition is this expansion slot here that has pre-drilled holes for, I think, an SD card and various connectors. There's also a plain version of that that doesn't have any extra holes, so you can basically convert this in case you want to use it with a stock Amiga 500, which is what I'm going to use it for now. Future plans probably involve using this with something else. So this is replaceable. This one has cutouts for connectors and the other one has no cutouts. We also have this little cover here on the back, which you can take out and run all kinds of things through there. And there's a replacement cover that I think has a cutout for an HDMI socket. So this is a bit more customizable than the original case. And that's pretty neat. I think I really like that because there's so many expansions and extensions for the old Amigas these days. And usually you have to modify your regular Amiga 500 cases to get all the connections out. But this offers quite some spots where you can do that in a neater way. And we have the Amiga 500 label. Of course, this case is manufactured by A1200net. We have a part number, that's A500 minus crystal. And we have a serial number, and I think Accuratus is the company that actually is the partner for production of these cases. They are manufactured in China, it seems. And that's also why there have been quite some shortages because China was under lockdown for quite a while and they are slowly getting things back together, I think. Currently, actually, they are under lockdown in some parts of the country again, so that's pretty bad. Probably there's going to be another shortage of things soon. And then, just in case you didn't believe this went through quality control, there's a little QC pass sticker on here as well. Yeah, that's all there's to it, I think. It kind of has the right balance of being true to the original and being expandable, I think. I think they did a pretty amazing job on that. I really like the fact that you can just replace these side expansion doors with one that doesn't have any extra holes, and you can also close this hole. Probably going to use this case for an expanded Amiga at some point because it's just the most elegant way to do that. So what I'm going to do now, I think, is to put an actual Amiga into this. Let's try that. How about that? I recently got this A500 board, which is a revision 6, because I had a lot of spare known good Amiga chips actually, and I populated this board. I bought it from eBay without any of the socketed chips in there, and I was able to populate it to be a fully fledged Amiga 500 actually. The eagle-eyed among you might have noticed that while these revision 6 boards usually come with a Fat Agnes that's an MOS 8372, this one has an 8371 in it. And that's actually not a very good idea because these are not suitable for addressing the RAM chips they used on these later revisions of the Amiga 500. These are usually in the earlier revisions like revision 5 and 3 boards. You can make these work by soldering the little solder jumper number 4 here. That's right beside it. However, this is just a workaround kind of thing, so these are not really reliable in these boards because the RAM actually needs more refresh cycles than these can offer. It does work somewhat, but it crashes randomly sometimes. So this is a workaround kind of thing I did to test this board. I'm going to replace this with an 8372 that I recently got. and remove the solder from this jumper. Yeah, I'm doing this on camera just to have some kind of electronics in this video. You always want to use these proper PLCC pullers to remove these chips, by the way. I think I managed to get it out in one piece. We're going to push this in here, and we should still have a working Amiga. That's more reliable than my hack job before. So let's see, turning this on, and it's looking good. Starting up, looking for the floppy disk drive, which isn't present, so it takes a bit longer to start up than usual. But we should see our kickstart 1.3. Yeah, this seems to still work. So let's put it in the case. This should fit in here like so, with the bottom shielding, I guess. There we go. It's a tight fit, but it's a tight fit on the original cases as well. These screws to mount the circuit board in the case are not provided with the crystal case bundle. These are just plastic screws you can use for this purpose. So I'm going to put some of those from my parts bin in here, I guess. I'm going to leave the whole top portion of the RF shield off. The bottom part of that is used to actually mount the connectors in the correct spot, so I'm going to have to leave that on. But I think this is going to look way better with the circuit board showing instead of the rather bland RF shield. And I'm also going to try to fit an original floppy disk drive in here for now. You could, of course, use like a GoTech or something else to have your removable storage, but I like to use floppy disks from time to time. So this should fit in here, and there are actually two screws that are screwed in from the bottom side here and one on this little plastic holder. There is also a crystal clear eject button for a disk drive in the kit. So I'm going to see if this fits. It looks like it is the same model. This should pop out if I carefully think in order to get this out. Yeah, we have to break it. That was not the intention, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to get this whole enclosure off, I think, to get this out. I broke the original one, I'm sorry, but the plastic was super brittle and I bent it a bit too far. At least I got it out. There we go. Oh yeah, we have to remove the standoffs as well. Now it should come out. Yay! We did it. I think I'm also going to give this a bit of a clean while I'm in here and re-lubricate the rails. But I've done that in other videos, so I'm not going to do much explaining. Cleaned and lubricated. Let's try and fit this thing here. It should slide in from the side. It seems like it might fit. Yep. Yeah, you basically slide it in from this side here, and of course you have to remove the case to properly handle these. I didn't know, and I broke the original one. I can probably glue that back together somehow. So the disk drive goes here. Like something like so. And then it connects on the main board. And then it's just a matter of using some of my salvaged plastic screws to screw down the board. Yeah, that's pretty sturdy already. We are going to add some screws here from the other side. That's going to do. Okay. Now for the keyboard, I have this rather yellow specimen, which I planned on replacing the keycaps on, but they are not available yet. But they are coming, rest assured. So for now, this is, we're going to have to live with this. I hope it doesn't ruin the look too much. And of course, with these clear cases, literally everything is visible. So this sits on your, wow, this is kind of beautiful. If it wasn't for the kind of crusty looking keyboard. The keyboard, don't look at the keyboard too much, but the rest of it is just kind of beautiful. This does look pretty nice, and I like looking at circuit boards, as you probably know, so this is awesome. I love it. The fit is a tiny bit different than on the original cases, I think, because it doesn't use many plastic clips. It uses the screws for that. So that's a plus in the end. Let's try this. Let's put the screws in, shall we? One of the screws on this edge here is there's a hole, and the actual screw is down below. But it works beautifully with a screwdriver. You can place the screw in there and just screw it down. No issues. And all the other ones go in as well, obviously. Yeah, but the fit is excellent, so there should be no issues whatsoever with this thing. And there we go. Still kind of a bummer that the keyboard looks as shoddy as it does. But as soon as I get my keycaps, that's going to change instantly. The first thing I'm going to do. Oh, one last thing. Of course, we have to put the limited edition sticker on there. It's actual metal, I think. That's awesome. Okay, let's put this on there. Should fit. Nice. Yeah. It's super nice looking. Feels a bit weird to look at it because it's so translucent, clear. But I love it. It's absolutely amazing to look at this thing. You can see the circuit board, you can even see the chips on the keyboard, you can see the whole keyboard construction. Super happy with this. Let's not forget the clear tank mouse. I have another tank mouse here that's a bit dirty. It's in rather nice condition though, and I'm just going to implant the innards of this into this, which should be totally doable. They are the same size. I think this is going to look nice even if the cable obviously is the original Amiga beige. But it's still going to look pretty amazing, probably. So these only have 2 screws and the rest is clipped together. Yeah, there we go. So this should now fully come out. Yeah. Open the clear one up. These don't have threaded inserts. That would probably have been too much. This is basically a freebie that comes with the case, so yeah. But it looks exactly the same mechanically. Look at that. It's very closely modeled after the original. But it has this little center piece in here, which makes it more stable, I guess. We need to transplant the ball as well, but we're going to do that later. First of all, let's transplant the circuit board. Just screwing these down exactly like it was in the original. This is going to be great. Okay, let's see, how does this fit? I nearly love this more than the computer. Let's put the ball in there after cleaning it a bit. Excuse me while I clean my ball. Okay, close. Okay, that is awesome. And you can see the ball spinning there because it has some stains still. They didn't quite replicate the clickiness of the original. I think the plastic is a different kind, so we don't get the exact same sound. But the form factor is exactly the same. And of course it matches the crystal case. It's crystal clear. Yeah, it definitely looks way cool. And I'm going to use this Competition Pro Star, I believe, which is translucent blue. I have a clear one of these somewhere. Wish I could find that, but I've stored that away somewhere and I don't think that it's working even, so this is going to have to do. Yeah, I can't really play like this. But as you can see, it still works. Yeah, it does look pretty amazing and everything seems to work like on a normal Amiga. You have the extra slots for extra connectors and things to make this a modern machine. Quite in love with how you can actually see through the case. The translucent cases that were not clear were already kind of very much my thing. But as I'm into electronics and we can actually see the electronics through here, this is even better in my book. So I'm eagerly awaiting the arrival of the keycaps. Should be any day now, I guess. The production issues have been resolved as far as I know, so they should be out for delivery pretty soon, even the ones that the Indiegogo campaign was aimed at. One thing I noticed about the mouse is that the buttons don't travel quite as far as with the originals, so you could probably work around that by filing the posts that actually actuate the switches a bit. But other than that, this feels really solid and nice. And yeah, the case, I need to put some more screws in there from the bottom side, I think, because this side tends to wobble a bit, but there's screw holes from the back side there. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I certainly enjoyed putting my Amiga into this beautiful new case. Remember, it is a limited run only. They are only going to be available as long as stock lasts. And there's not going to be unlimited stock of these, as I've pointed out earlier. Thank you very much for supporting my work on Patreon and on the YouTube channel memberships page, and also for your single donations on PayPal and on Ko-fi. Thank you very, very much for that. Hope to see you again on this channel. I'm Jan Beta. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.